Hey there guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back to another video on this channel. I've been thinking a little bit lately about loneliness and how it's difficult for some people to make friends. I've shared a lot about myself on this channel and my personal experiences with this because I've always just had a hard time making friends in my life. And I've been thinking about why is it that this is the case? Why is it so hard for me to make friends? So I've been thinking about it, and I have a few answers. I think I understand a few simple, basic things about why it's hard for people to make friends. And, you know, this is something that I want to talk about a lot on this channel because in the past, when I've made videos talking about this subject, I've gotten an overwhelming response from people and feedback where basically everybody says that they're going through the exact same thing, where they've just also been lonely in their life and they've also had a hard time making friends forever. And I never really understood before making this channel and talking about this just how universal loneliness is. And I'm becoming more aware of how important this issue is because it just seems like everybody's lonely. And so why is it so hard for people to make friends? Why are people lonely? I want to talk about that right now in this video, but I also want to know what you think about this. So if you could, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this. Why is it hard for people to make friends in life? But with that being said, let me give you guys my reasons. So reason number one, why I think people have a hard time making friends is because there's not a lot of opportunities, especially as an adult. As a kid, when you're younger, it's easy to make friends because you have school. Everybody's going to school as a kid. You're around people that are the same age as you, and you know, for me, it was still difficult, but that's because of other reasons. We'll get into that in a minute. But the question is, where do you meet people? Where can you make friends? As an adult, this seems like a big challenge because, you know, if you have a job, that might be the only place where you're really around people. You might go to work, come home, and then you're by yourself the whole time. So if you're that way, you're keeping yourself isolated, away from everybody, by just living by yourself or being alone, whatever. So where are the opportunities for you to meet people? That's problem number one. Problem number two is, I think a lot of people are that's just their personality, is they're just introverted people. They're not trying to meet people. They're just living their life, being by themselves. What's wrong with that? But the problem is that after a while, the feeling of loneliness just hits you. It just comes out of nowhere, where you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not spending my time with anybody. And you might not realize it's a problem because you're fine with it for a while. Some people just don't care. That's why some people don't make friends, is because they just don't care. They just never really put in any effort. So if you're not putting in any effort to make friends, you're not going to make them. And they're not going to, you know, this brings up another point, which is that if you don't have an attractive personality, if you're not outgoing, if you're not somebody who's the life of the party, you know, people are not just going to come to you, right? Which is why if you do want to really form relationships with people, you have to be somebody who is more social. And this is not something that I really know a lot about because I've never been that person. I've always been extremely quiet, always been extremely keeping to myself. There are times, I'm definitely not the life of the party, because there are times when I'm at a party where people forget that I'm even there because I literally just sit by myself and don't interact with anybody. And it's, you know, like, it's a problem for me. So how interesting are you as a person? And that's just a personality thing, you know. And if you want to learn how to make friends, working on your social skills is necessary. And again, this is like one of the reasons why, for me, growing up, I feel like I had a hard time, is because I don't really think that I ever developed my social skills as a kid. I just feel like that's one thing that I completely lacked, and I don't know why. I know one issue I have is social anxiety, where you know, I always just said I was a shy kid, but like I realize now that I had social anxiety, where I got really nervous around people that I didn't know, and it made me get in my head too much, overthink everything, and be too afraid to even talk to people. And that's an issue. And so making friends is much, much more difficult for people who have social anxiety, for people who are introverts. And this is why I think so many people today are lonely and they have a difficult time making friends. It's because their personality is just not one that makes it easy. So that's my thoughts on that. But the other thing is, when it comes to how much are you making an effort to make friends? You know, I learned about myself that I was never really asking people to be my friend. I never really went up to them and was like, hey, do you want to hang out later on? I never really was that guy. I never was the initiator. And I think that if you want to make friends, you got to think first about how you yourself are going to be a good friend to them. You know, if you want to make friends, you have to be a good friend. And that's something that I really believe in now. So how friendly are you, right? How friendly really are you? Do you ask people to hang out? I was never that guy. Like, I was never the person who threw a party. I was never the person to say, hey, here's some invitations. Let's all go out, whatever. Let's all go do something. I was always the guy who just kind of went along with it. I tagged along with other people. Somebody would say, hey, Kenny, we're doing this thing. You want to come? Yeah, sure. I'll go out to eat with you guys. I'll go to a movie. I'll do whatever. You know, I'll go over to so-and-so's house. And that's it. I was just kind of an extra, you know? And I think if you want to make friends, like, you got to ask people to do stuff with you. And if you don't ask, you're not going to have anything happen. Also, here's another thing I want to point out is really, how do you make friends? A lot of friendships, a lot of relationships that are formed from people, and this is a thing that's overlooked a lot, is usually from a friend of a friend recommends, hey, you just meet people through other people, basically. And that's kind of an overlooked thing. So if you completely isolate yourself from everybody, you're missing out on the opportunity to make extra friends from the friends that you already have. So it's kind of like a compounding issue, you know? So if you have friends, you're more likely to make more friends. If you don't have friends, you're just gonna stay at zero. That's like one of the, it's a weird thing to think about, but when it comes to making friends, I can think of a lot of times you just kind of meet people through other people. So, yeah, so here to review all the reasons that I've already listed. Number one, why people have a hard time making friends. Number one, what opportunities do you have? Like, where are the people meeting that you can meet, right? Like, what are the opportunities to meet friends? Two, what is your personality? The reason why some people have a hard time making friends is because they're introverted. They keep to themselves. They don't really care enough. They're not that interesting as a person. They don't have the social skills, right? That's kind of like a third point, actually. So the lack of being interesting, having a friendly personality, and then fourth, not making an effort. How much effort are you really making, you know? So why am I telling you this? Why am I covering this topic? Well, I just think it's so important to talk about this because I think so many people experience loneliness. They know they suck at making friends, and they're just miserable. And I don't want you to be miserable. I don't want you to be miserable. I want you to understand why you feel the way you feel. That way you can do something about it. Because I think that it doesn't matter how you are, who you are, what you're going through right now, that I think that you can be more than what you are right now. I think that you can change. You know, I've seen myself over the past few years make such big changes to who I am, to how I live my life. Not being so nervous around people, not being so, I just have a better mindset where I'm like, I'm going to do more and not sit back and let things happen. I'm not going to sit here and just be lazy. I'm not going to sit here and just complain about things. If I hate something about myself or if I don't like something about my life, I'm going to figure out how to change that. And that's really the one thing that's really been different about me over the past year than really my whole life, is I'm really stepping into the right place in my life where I can really be the person who I've always wanted to be. And I'm working on it. I got a lot of room to grow. By the way, guys, the reason why I'm talking to you about this stuff is just because I know what I've been through, and I know how much it sucks to be lonely. I know how much it sucks to not have friends, that, you know, I just want to understand why, you know, because I think you have to understand why in order to do anything about it. And I'm not saying that I know. These are just my thoughts. Like, this is not like an in-depth analysis. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm just like sitting here thinking, why? I was just like, hey, why is it that it's so hard for people to make friends? And now I'm sharing it with you guys. Although I'm sure that there's more reasons, and I'm sure that maybe my reasons are too basic, but you know, I still think there's truth in a lot of things I said, you know, because for me, it's like, I wish I could go back in time and really change the way that I was, because like, I feel like I missed out on making friends in school, and, you know, I missed out. Like, it's so hard to find, like, today as an adult, it seems like it's so hard to like make friends. Like, where do you do it, you know? And I think that the internet is a good place to go, and because the internet now, at least you can like figure out like what social things are going on in your area, or you can just meet people online through whatever and just talk to them. Like, gaming is a huge thing where I actually met this guy at work who he was a really friendly guy, and he was the kind of guy that I could see myself making friends with. And I just kind of got lucky, you know, meeting him. But we're not friends. But like, one time I played video games with him online after work, and that was just kind of a cool thing, because like, I felt great because somebody was nice to me, and they didn't just like neglect me or ignore me, or because I think a lot of times people might make efforts to make friends, but they get rejected, or people don't like them. People, you know, you just feel like you don't fit in, you know, and I felt good, you know. So there are things that have been happening in my life lately that have made me feel a lot better, like meeting people at work and actually getting along with them, and actually trying to be more social, stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm seeing a lot of good progress for myself, and I want you guys to really progress and develop yourselves as well. You know, I really, really believe that you can. I really, really think that if you focus on it, if you try to learn everything you can about how to be better, that you can be better. And I don't want you guys to let anything stop you, you know? If you're gonna complain about something, like, it's not enough to just complain about how miserable you are and what you don't like about your life. Like, you have to find a way, you know, to overcome these things and to change things. So, and I really believe that you can. So, what else was I going to say? You know, yeah, like, the internet is just a good place for us to connect, you know? And by the way, like, the community that I'm hoping to form on this channel is a great place to meet people. And I'm hoping that at some point I can start up, like, maybe like a Discord server or something where we can actually chat with each other. But I want you guys to know that, like, the people who watch my videos on this channel are probably people that are going through the same thing as you. You know, so I want this community on my channel to be a place where we can interact with each other, and talk to each other and be there for each other, you know, where we can not judge each other, where we can support each other. And that's just really the place that I want to eventually form on this channel, is a real feeling of like being in a community. I know that Discord is more for like gamers to really chat with each other, like voice chat. But like, I'm pretty sure that with Discord, you can set something up where you can just have like a server and like people can join and chat with each other. And I don't know how it works. I've never even tried it out. But for those of you who have experience using Discord, is that something that I could use for this channel, where I could set something up and we could all like join in and chat with each other and whatever? Like I really want to know, because I want to find a way for me to be able to interact with you guys more personally, directly, and I want to find a way for you to meet other people who watch my videos easily. So I know that some people have recommended using a website like meetup.com to like meet people in your area and meet up with them in real life, like strangers. For me, that seems weird. For me, I would not do that, just because like, you never really know who I don't know how it works. It might be a great site, but it's just not the thing for me. Honestly, I'm really at the point, and I know I just made a whole video about how, you know, you should learn more about how to make friends, but like, I'm sort of at a point where I'm not really that interested in making friends. And I think a lot of times people are just kind of at a point in their life where they just kind of accepted that they don't have friends, and they just kind of decide to just live by themselves. And I'm kind of at that point where I'm just kind of deciding, making a decision that I'm not going to make an effort to do it. But at the same time, you know, loneliness doesn't, you know, you can't control how you feel, you know, really. Sometimes the feeling is just going to hit you, and it can be overwhelming. So yeah, I know that, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying stuff at this point. I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I know I talked a lot, and I don't really know if what I said was significant in any way. I hope that what I said was a little bit insightful for you, and I hope that you guys can at least take something away from this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. I wish you the best. Take care.